Welcome to day 3 of the Global Healing Summit. Today we're going to talk about creativity. So you may have done the yoga practice already or you're doing it later on. It's going to be all focused on your own creativity and exploring poses based on your own intuition and your own guidance. And so feeling out your body and taking little movements based on what feels good. So let's get comfortable, find a seat, and let's tune into ourself. And just tune into the body and the breath. And just how it feels right here, right now for you. Listening to your inhale. And listening to your exhale. Hearing that little bit of restriction in your throat that makes your breath audible. You can always close your eyes or look down with a soft gaze. Grounded through your sit bones, sit up tall. And soften your shoulders, soften your face. The seat of creativity lies within your body, located at your second chakra. Svadhisthana is the name. If you haven't learned about chakras, they're these wheels of energy in your body. And it's actually a seat of where your nerve endings connect. In this place, it's all about your seat of creativity, but also the acceptance, the ability to flow with life. How easily can you move through and accept all the things that come your way. It can be challenging. So the opposite to this creative side is your logical side, knowledge. And that's the masculine part of who you are, the masculine qualities. And the feminine qualities are the creativity, the fluidity. And so when they merge together, masculine and feminine, it's a union. Creates this balance between both sides, which is really the seat of your awareness, logical and creative. There's all types of things that impact your awareness, like your thoughts and feelings, your subconscious, all your past experience, and even your energy itself. So depending on the day, sometimes you wake up energized and feeling fueled. Other days, maybe it doesn't feel so energetic. So honing in here and where you are now. And if your eyes are closed, start to flutter them open. Really ground down into your seat. Taking some time to reestablish yourself in this moment if you are pulled into thought. And so let's talk a little bit about creativity. When you have a lot of experiences going on, it's often really hard to be creative. It's really hard to invent or come up with different ways of working, of doing things, or even, some of maybe your artistic things. You can't find that inspiration to create. And so I like to pull in a little bit of the logical in those circumstances. So for me, creativity comes naturally, but during some of the more challenging times in my life, it didn't come naturally. It was more of a forced kind of creativity. And the reason I did this was in order to shift my perspective. And sometimes you need a real good perspective shift, right? Especially when you're right in the middle of difficult experience. And one of the things I like to do is think about something that you can be creative about that's your own. So not necessarily making something for someone else to start, just really getting centered in what it is you want to create. So for example, the space behind you, I created. It seems kind of funny to say that I created it, but I envisioned it in my mind first. So you kind of get that really good holistic view of what you want to achieve. And that's the same for any goals in life, right? You want to get a holistic view, understand your starting point. So when I first started getting creative in this space, I had to think about, okay, so it only has 2 walls. It's open on one side, and we have kind of these poles to my right. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to exactly do with it, but I wanted to make it a little sanctuary for myself. And I wanted to put in it all the things that I needed to inspire my creativity. And so it's a place where I keep books, I'll keep sound bowls, I keep yoga supplies, mat, bolster. I even have a little setup in order to record videos. I wanted plants in my space because they're symbolic of new life and just really all around. I love being outside, so for me to bring real plants into the space just made it that much better. And anytime I practice or teach from this space, I really feel alive, and that's what's important. So as you can see behind me, I have a little shelf here, and I came up with the idea through a friend of mine. I had gone to her yoga space and I was totally in love with the idea of having a shelf and just having one simple thing on each shelf. For me, the things that I wanted to incorporate were stones that really inspired creativity, but at the same time helped me personally. So it doesn't have to be just about creativity. It's just understanding your starting point from our previous videos and kind of developing a way to be creative from that starting point to take your first steps forward. And this was my first attempt. I painted the space. This was actually gold before, so it's actually kind of a really light pink beige color. So I painted the space. I wanted to make it pretty plain, not too much going on, which is hard for me because I'm kind of a little all over the place sometimes. But in order to, bring in those things that I wanted, I had to figure out what really I needed for my space in order to be grounded, to feel or inspire creativity. Just bringing in those things that really helped me grow. One of the things I really wanted to was to feel powerful, because for a time it felt like I had no control over anything. But the great thing about being creative is you have control over every single piece. If you paint a painting, you have control over the canvas, the colors, the brush strokes, and it doesn't have to necessarily be that artistic, making a space for yourself. Gardening is also something that's very creative. You have the choice of what flowers you plant, where you plant them, how it's going to look when you're finished. So moving through that creative space and understanding the properties that you need for you in order to manifest and bring more creativity into your life. So really, creativity is a focus shift. You're shifting away from whatever it was that was on your plate, and you're shifting into making something, creating a goal for yourself, and slowly you're taking steps forward to achieve. When creativity feels lacking, I feel like I want to choose a different word. When inventing or achieving that goal, sometimes you run into certain obstacles. Maybe you make a mistake halfway through, or it's not exactly turning out the way you wanted, or you have to be diverted in some way. This is your opportunity to almost relinquish that control a little bit in order to realize that you're exactly where you need to be, and you're making the mistakes you need to make, or you're making the choices you need to make in order to continue on that path towards growth. Now, that being said, I want to take you a little bit closer into my space so you can kind of see what I'm talking about and look at some of the pieces that I chose for myself. So yeah, this is my space. As you get a little closer, you can see I incorporated quite a few different things here. In order to help you understand how I got to this space, I knew that me personally, I'm a healer. My mission, life goal, is to help other people. And so for that, I wanted to take a specific stone. This is called labradorite, and you can see it's very beautiful. And it's meant for healers who help others heal. And so for me, I really knew this was going to be a very important piece within my sanctuary. I also have amethyst because it's important to have, it connects with the divine and helps keep that channel, that conversation open. Another piece that I really wanted to incorporate is something that was given to me by a fellow mala maker and teacher, and it has really great energy. I needed it at a very specific point in my life, and so it was made for me, and I love to keep it here as a reminder of my beginning and how I got to where I am now. I also have a little statue of Ganesha. I have a bigger one in there too, but this one specifically I got a little while ago. And Ganesha, I have a tattoo of Ganesha as well, but Ganesha is an important reminder for me, and that's that when I'm right in the middle of an obstacle in my life, the obstacle is there for a reason. I'm meant to learn a lesson from that obstacle, and I don't actually need to see the obstacle as an obstacle anymore. The obstacle may be challenging, may be hard, but it's there to help me grow in order to help serve others. So in that way, I really appreciate Ganesha, because it's not so much that he's the remover of the obstacle, but he helps you remove that obstacle from your vision, so you don't see it anymore as an obstacle. So these were all things that I knew personally were going to help serve as reminders and achieve that creative state that I had hoped for. Now, if you're looking to create a space of your own, some of the questions you may want to ask are, what are the qualities that I want to possess? And where can I find those, either in nature, or maybe you have a specific decorative idol, like I have Ganesha or Buddha. You may have a religious item of your own, if that's something that you cherish and really enjoy. You can put that in your space. Colors, you want to think about the colors that are going to help infuse you. So for example, green may be a color that you really enjoy. My yoga mat is green, and I actually really love the color because it's a deep forest green. Maybe the color you like is blue, like the ocean, or what are those colors that give you that sense of calm and serenity and peace from the inside? So incorporate those into your space. Now, if you're creative in a different way, your sanctuary will provide you with a space to create. So I feel like it's really the best starting point for your creativity, because you get to really make it your own. You have control over everything that you put in it, and everything that you put in makes you feel good. So choose those items that make you feel good on the inside and bring them into your space. The last thing I want to leave you with is your focus shift. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how that works. When you take yourself and you say, I no longer want to think about this. I want to do something productive and create a sanctuary, as an example. You're taking your attention off point A and moving it to point B, and thinking about all the pieces that will help achieve point B. When you take that focus shift, you're now into complete present moment awareness, because you're developing your creative space. And really, you're taking yourself out of the past, thinking about experience A, and thinking about the future, but how you're going to achieve the future. So it's not just the idea of the future, but the steps that you'll take in order to make the future happen. So those pieces you want to put in the space, what are the things that you need to accomplish in order to create it? Do you have to paint? Do you have to move furniture? Do you have to, start setting up your yoga mat? Do you need to purchase an item? Do you need to remove some stuff from the space? What are those things that you need to do in order to make it happen? And with that, you are harnessing your own inner power, because you get to choose. You get to choose all of it and make it happen. And when you are able to harness that power and make those choices, you feel accomplished. You'll feel a sense of happiness, or maybe not even happiness, but you'll feel a sense of achievement. And with that, that's pretty much creativity in a nutshell, why it's important. And there's all kinds of different ways to be creative. You don't have to create a sanctuary if you don't want to. You can always paint a picture, you can draw a picture, coloring books, there's all those coloring books out there, like meditation coloring books. Usually they're mandalas, or you can also be creative in cooking. Again, like I mentioned before, in gardening, in so many aspects of your life, you can be creative. So it's just about making the attention of the creativity your sole focus. So it's really about making whatever it is you're making, letting it be the focus of your attention. Letting yourself feel the power to create those things, and just letting it come to fruition. With that, have a great day 3. I hope you enjoy the yoga practice. It'll also help inspire that inner creativity. So go forth and make something new.